This is Business Inspired GY, a business magazine that informs and educates and provides you with information to run effective businesses. Today we're talking about insurance, and with me is the CEO of Insurance Brokerage, Mr. Ewart Adams. Insurance Brokers is the first insurance brokerage company started in Guyana. Mr. Adams, how important is insurance for small businesses?
Well, insurance is an absolute necessity for business or businesses in Guyana. If you're actively participating in a business, you perhaps own the property where the business is going to be conducted from. And as a result of that, you should ensure that entity is insured. If you may not be the owner of the location that the business is operating from, and you need to rent a location from someone, should you wish to make changes to the building, then you have an option on the tenancy agreement that you can ensure what work you will have done as the business and not done by the landlord. So persons have that option in terms of how they can benefit from insurance and their monies that would have been expended. In addition to that, if you're taking a loan from a bank, banks now are requesting for you to have life insurance. And the concept behind that is very simple. If I'm the breadwinner of my family and I have taken a loan from the bank to conduct business, should I die, then it means that the business can end up in an unpleasant situation as it relates to paying back the bank. So when life insurance is effected on the individual, that policy is assigned to the bank. So what in essence it means that should the person demise, then the bank will be compensated by the insurance company in relation to the loan that will exist.
In Guyana, Mr. Adams, we have a situation where many persons run what we can term home-based businesses. And for some of them, they don't believe in the concept of, or they don't understand the concept of insurance and how it can protect them. What kinds of insurances are available to persons such as those operating home businesses?
For those persons who have a home-based business, I'm going to assume that whatever the business being conducted, you may need to have specialized equipment or specialized machinery. And if it is being done out of your home, then they will be able to insure that as part of their content. So in the events of any demise, any fire, the claim will be settled to compensate the owner for the items lost in the fire. So that is another way in which fire insurance becomes a necessity, or it's strongly advised that you take out a fire insurance policy covering your equipment and other paraphernalia. Even as a regular ordinary householder, you work hard to acquire several pieces of furniture in your home, the fridge, the freezer, the chair. All those can be insured under a separate fire policy based on the contents that is in the building or the respective building.
Do we offer flood insurance for businesses in Guyana?
Flood is an extension under the fire insurance policy. It is more or less a peril. So flood insurance is available to companies and to private homeowners as part of their policy if you negotiate it. But it is very much out there that you can have that type of policy to mitigate whenever there's a flood. If there should be any damages, then let's have a claim settled.
Have you seen many small business owners coming to insure their businesses?
The answer to that, if I have personally seen, I would say no. you would have had situations where under the small business bureau where persons would have gotten a grant or a loan to start up a business. In situations like that, it's a condition of the loan that you will need to have whatever insured.
But other than that, an ordinary business person will not, small business owner will not walk off the road and say, let me insure my business, given that I would have invested all my life savings in this.
Exactly. So these the situation in terms of having your property insured, there's also a scenario where you may have a mortgage from the bank for 5 million, your property value 10 million. And in some cases, the banks have been advising persons to just take out insurance for the 5 million. Now, if the building burnt, it means the bank get their 5 million, but you get nothing because you did not insure it for the full value. So, at the end of the day, you as an owner of a property should ensure that your policy is covered to the maximum.
What would your advice be for persons operating businesses in Guyana? And I will not stress on small businesses, but businesses in general, in terms of insuring their businesses.
Well, the advice would be simple. If you have assets, then you should insure it against fire. On the other hand, the fire may not start at you, but it could end at you because of the firefighting facilities that is in Guyana. Sometimes it takes a while to get a conflagration under control. By that time, it is 2-3 buildings burning. So some persons argue that they will take all the precautions to avoid a fire. While you would be doing that, you can't be assured that your neighbor is doing the same thing.
How do you think someone should go about getting a business insurance? I mean, insurance companies are all over Guyana today, and persons might be tempted to just go to the first insurance company they see, but they may not be getting the right value for their property.
Okay, but being an insurance broker, I will have to put a plug for myself here because persons can easily come to Insurance Brokers Guyana Limited with their insurance requests and need, and we will certainly ensure that the policy we effect, it is the most competitive, and at the end of the day, your assets are well protected. So you will be receiving information. Hopefully you will take the advice of the broker, and that is where the broker comes in. Now, as a broker, we basically work for the policyholder, but we're paid by the insurance company or a commission. So individuals can see having a broker as an extended arm of their business so that whatever the insurance requirements are, whether it is health, motor, fire, whatever is required, we'll be able to deal with it. And it is being done by a central person and someone who knows and understands the market of insurance.
Are there categories of business insurance that are available in Guyana?
Well, of course, we have several different categories of insurance in Guyana where persons are in different fields, whatever it could be, mining, it can be, there's so many different things. But the whole thing is that the insurance can be available if when you sit down and you speak with your broker and make your request as to what you would like to have covered. Based on the client information, the client may come with a preconceived idea. As a broker, we now will go into the market, see which company has the best quote, and will recommend to you how you should deal with it moving forward. So as the broker, the advantage too is in the event of a claim, we are at our client's disposal in having their claims settled.
For someone who may want to operate a food caravan, or for someone who has a small manufacturing company at their home, what insurances or what categories of insurance will they fall under?
Well, my concept of a food caravan, it would be a vehicle converted where they can dispense and selling. Any insurance on that would be on the equipment, which is the van or the truck or whatever. And in any event, motor insurance is compulsory. So before you can have that caravan up and running, the vehicle must be insured. With a small scale of caravan, yes, you will have some level of exposure, but it will be kind of difficult in terms of having cover per se as it relates to like a food caravan, and it basically meals you'll be preparing, etc.
My last question, Mr. Adams, when would be the right time for someone to insure a business?
Okay. As soon as you have established and business commence, most cases you would prefer to have the person take out the necessary insurance prior to the commencement of the business. Now, I'm going to divert here a little for persons who are building a property. From the time the roof is on, you have the option to start insuring your property. So a building is in the course of construction, they've reached to the level where the roof is on. You may have spent 10 million so far. That 10 million can be insured, with the understanding as the building is completed, the sum insured will be revised further upwards, covering you for the full amount.
And for somebody who may be renting, when do they start, or when do they effect insurance?
Well, for someone who is renting, the only thing they can possibly cover is their contents, household contents, whether it's the fridge, the stove, or whatever. But that's the option that they have as a person who is renting.
Okay.
Whatever their assets they have, they can insure it under a householder's comprehensive policy. An area that seems to be on the look immensely, I would say, because just how you have a value for your building, you should also have value for your content, and to ensure that you're well protected from insurance.
And this is in the case of fire, theft, flood, and the like.
Yeah. You know, fire, riot, strike, malicious damage, flood. Those are like perils under the fire policy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adams, for speaking with us. As you would have heard Mr. Adams saying, there are different categories of insurances that you would be able to insure your property or your contents under. So this is something that you should actually look into if you're running a small manufacturing company out of your home. You can look at insuring the contents. You could look at insuring your machinery and everything. So in the event of anything happening, you will be able to have some amount of money to restart that operation, as opposed to just closing down your business entirely because all of your investment. That has brought us to the end of another episode of Business Inspire GY.